RLC circuit. So we consider this electric circuit of the speaker, and the input is U, the voltage here, and the output is Y, the voltage at the bounds of the resistor R2. We have to find the equation of the system, and then we'll show that the system is linear. This is my system. The input is U here, U, and the output is Y. We'll consider that E1 here is a current around R1, at the bound of R1, and to find the state equation we'll have to use the Kirchhoff law. So the Kirchhoff rules, we have to take the mesh rule for this loop and also for this loop, and then after we'll use the node rule at this point. So if I do this for the first loop, I will obtain U, so U here, minus, so I turn like this, minus V, this one, minus R1 I1 equal 0. Now I take the other loop, this one, and I will do the same. I will start here, and I will get like this, L, the derivative of E with respect to time, so I put a big dot like this to say that it is a derivative, plus R2 E, this one, minus R1 V1 E1, and this should be equal to 0. And now I will use the node rule with respect to this point, and I will obtain E plus E1, and the current that cross C, the condensator C, the capacitor C will be C V dot, and this should be equal to 0. Okay, from this I should be able to obtain the state equation. So intuitively we can understand that the memory of the system corresponds to the capacitor charge here, and the electromagnetic flow in the coil here. Indeed, these values, if the values are known at time t equals 0, if I know the input U, we can understand that the future of the system is determined in a unique way. Thus, the possible state variables are given by E, which is proportional to the flow here, and V, which is proportional to the charge, so here. So for this we need to obtain state equation of this form: the derivative of V equal the derivative of E equal, and here I am only allowed to have the state variables V, E, and the input U. And I will deduce this from this equation. Now, for this, I will isolate this one and this one, and I have to eliminate E1. So I will go from 3 equations up to 2 equations. So if I do this, I will obtain here the derivative of v is equal to minus 1 divided by c r1 v plus 1 divided by c e plus 1 divided by c r1 u. Okay. And for E dot, I will obtain minus, so I take this equation, of course, and I will obtain 1 divided by L V minus R2 divided by L E plus 1 divided by L U. Okay, so I deduce in this direction. And also I have to add the output y, which is equal here to R2 E. Okay, so it's not a derivative, it's a point on the E, so I will remove it. I can put this in a matrix form. So in a matrix form, I will obtain V dot derivative of V, the derivative of E, is equal to minus 1 divided by C R1 here times V E plus something multiplied by U. So for the multiplication by U, I have this and this. So 1 divided by C R1, 1 divided by L, and the others, I take this, and this, and I obtain 1 divided by C minus 1 divided by L minus R2 divided by L. And for the output, I will have y equal 0 R2, so these are 2, times VE. So this is the state equation of my system. The input is U, the output is Y. Here I have the matrix A, which corresponds to the evolution matrix. Here B, the control matrix. This one C, the observation matrix. So if I want to study the stability, I have to check the eigenvalues of this matrix. So due to the fact that this system is passive, there is no production of energy in the system, I can conclude without any computation that my system is stable as soon as I have a resistor R1, which is and R2, which are strictly greater than 0.